Hello witches, wizards, and those who are yet to receive their Hogwarts school letters, welcome to my Harry Potter kitchen. This is the YouTube series where I'm baking my way through the Harry Potter books, creating recipes for every item of food and drink that we find inside. If you missed last week's recipe where we created our fire whiskey eggnog from scratch, then make sure you check out the link down below in the description to catch up. And if you're new to the kitchen and you want to see some more Harry Potter recipes, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. Speaking of which, we've got some more Harry Potter Christmas recipes on the way next. The Christmas treats just keep on coming, so let's head back into chapter 12, the Polyjuice Potion, to find out what's next. Okay, so they're still singing their carols. Malfoy is on the other table making some snide remarks, but Harry doesn't care because he knows he's going to get his revenge later, and that's where I can see our next recipe. Harry and Ron had barely finished their third helpings of Christmas pudding when Hermione ushered them out of the hall. Looks like it's time for dessert. If you'd like to recreate my ultimate vegan Christmas pudding, then all of the ingredients, measurements and instructions are up on my website, bradleybakes.co.uk. The link is down below in the description. 'Tis the season, so today we are creating Christmas pudding. Now you may remember that last year during the Philosopher's Stone we made mini flaming Christmas puddings inspired by our 4 Hogwarts houses, so if you missed that I'll leave the link down below. But today I wanted to do something a little bit different, and quite a few of you have asked on Instagram for me to create more vegan recipes. So in the spirit of Christmas and giving back, today we are going to be making my ultimate vegan Christmas pudding. It's still going to pack in all those great Christmassy flavours. It's going to be super rich and super moist, but it will be vegan friendly. We're going to get a lot of that moisture from the fruits that we're using, so I'm going to start off by soaking those in alcohol. But don't worry, if you don't drink alcohol, you can still make this recipe. Just swap out that alcohol for juice. Pineapple juice works really well, but you can also use orange juice or apple juice if you prefer. Okay, let's get those fruits prepared and then get baking. The stronger you like your Christmas pudding, the earlier you want to do this step. In fact, I do this up to a year in advance to really make it pack a punch, but at least 1 month will do. All you need to do is add your dried mixed fruits into a bowl and then pour over your alcohol of choice. I prefer brandy, sherry or port. You then want to seal that in an airtight jar or container and leave it to infuse. The alcohol will soften and preserve your fruits. Once the fruits are ready, you'll notice they're lovely and plump. So not only does this give great flavour to our Christmas pudding, it will also help retain that moisture while it cooks. I prefer a slightly smoother texture in my Christmas pudding, so I'm going to drain off most of the alcohol and then tip that into a food processor and gently pulse it a couple of times so that it breaks up the fruits. You don't want to do this so it's completely smooth, we still want a few chunks in there, but just help bring it together and add a little bit of alcohol to bind it if you need. So that is the boozy fruits for our vegan Christmas pudding all prepared. And as I mentioned, you can tailor that step as long or as short as you like, depending on how much of that flavour you want inside your pudding. Don't worry about the fruits going off, they won't, the alcohol will preserve it and you'll just end up with a more mature flavour. That is the longest that you'll have to wait, and the next steps for this vegan Christmas pudding are so easy. All we're going to do is blend together all of our wet ingredients to get a nice puree. We'll then mix our dry ingredients together before combining the two. They go into a bowl which we will steam this pudding so that it is a lovely and light, moist, rich, packed full of Christmassy flavour, and then you'll be tucking in before you know it. To get as much moisture into our vegan Christmas pudding, I'm going to blend the rest of our fruits along with our wet ingredients. Add your soft figs and your pitted dates into your food processor, along with your coconut oil and your treacle. I've also grated the zest off my orange, as we're going to use that later, before cutting in half and squeezing out the juice. Flavour it with your vanilla and Angostura bitters, and then blend together until smooth. Next, you just need to add all of your dry ingredients into a separate bowl. That's your flour, sugar, vegetable suet, breadcrumbs which I've made from blitzing up a day-old slice of bread, and our flavourings. That's the zest of our orange, mixed spice, nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon. Mix these through until they're nice and evenly combined, and then make a well in the middle. Pour in your wet ingredients and your boozy fruits, and then mix that all together until it's well combined. I'm then going to get my heat-proof bowl, which we're going to steam the pudding in, and then grease that with some more coconut oil. Spoon in your Christmas pudding mix, leaving about an inch from the top, and then we're going to cover that with tin foil. As we're going to steam this for quite some time, I like to do 2 layers and hold it in place with a band. Our pudding is then ready to steam, and I'm going to do this in a slow cooker so we can control the temperature over that long period of time. Place a heat rack into the bottom and then place your pudding on top, filling it with water about 3/4 of the way up the pudding. Cover with your lid, and then you want to leave this for about 3.5 to 4 hours until it's fully cooked through. So that is pretty much all the hard work for our vegan Christmas pudding completed. We're going to take the pudding out of the steamer, flip it over onto our serving dish, and then I'll show you how to light your Christmas pudding, because that is the show-stopping way to serve it up on Christmas Day. I like my Christmas pudding with custard or brandy sauce, and you can find vegan alternatives if you want to avoid using dairy. Remove your Christmas pudding from the hot water and then set it to one side to cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can then safely remove the foil and the band and take yourself a spatula to loosen the edges. I'm then going to place my plate on top and flip the whole thing over. Give it a little wiggle and then you should be able to remove the bowl. Now our pudding has been revealed, we can take it to the table while it's hot and then light it in front of our guests. The easiest way to do this is get yourself a scoop or a ladle and fill it with your alcohol. Take a blowtorch and heat underneath to warm it up slightly, and then put the flame to the alcohol. Working quickly before the flame goes out, you then want to carefully pour that over your Christmas pudding, and the alcohol will burn off as it lights your entire pudding. Make sure the flames are out before you cut it, and then dig in. So that is our homemade vegan Christmas pudding recipe completed. We've packed so much fruit into this and so much flavour. It's going to taste just as good as the real thing, if not better. Let me know down below in the comments if you're planning on giving this one a go this Christmas. That's all for this week's recipe, but if you want to see more from My Harry Potter Kitchen, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell. Then you'll get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. I'm off to tuck into Christmas, so I'll see you next week. This smells incredible. Oh my god. I think that's better than traditional Christmas pudding. Merry Christmas!